if you've done a little bit of law of attraction work, you might have encountered this thing called the emotional guidance system. And this is the idea that your emotions and feelings immediately tell you whether what you're thinking about is aligned with your truth. And if you feel bad about something, it's telling you that it's not the situation that is bad, but something in your thinking and attitude towards what's happening is not aligned with how things really are. So that's quite a wonderful emotional guidance system to have, because you can immediately say, well, if I'm feeling bad, there's something in my thinking that is not aligned with truth. Very good. So what happens then, people say, is, well, if I'm feeling bad, let's quickly change our negative, so-called negative thinking to something positive. And you can do that. You can immediately jump out and start thinking positive about something, and you notice that your mood rises, and this tells you that you're getting closer to the truth. So all well and good. But there are some dangers or some warning points with it, which I'd like to share with you. And the first of these is, because our emotions are so complex, really, and if any given situation, we're likely to feel a number of currents and threads from the event we are looking at, but also from our judgments about it, our judgments about ourselves and others. So how do we know which of these to shift to the positive? There's just too much going on. That's one point. The other one is that when we jump too quickly to think positively about something, it can be a reactive strategy to almost force a better feeling. So when we get involved in strategies and reactions, we're almost never coming from the real truth, deeper truth. So while you can improve your mood somewhat by shifting your thoughts, could we not achieve an even more profound shift without reacting? Let me unpack that a little bit. So I'll sketch what is perhaps the alternative. So just say you're not feeling very good about something, and you recognize that within this not feeling good, there's a host of things happening, of your reactions and judgments and everything. Instead of jumping immediately to the positive and trying to think positive about it, how about we spend time with the negative and allow it to be here and bring it in, so to speak. We have this huge phobia of feeling the negative, yet the negative contains gifts for us. When we allow ourselves to feel and deeply go into without reacting away from all that is bothering us, a rest and a peace can start to happen. And in that, it's like a settling. We're settling this bowl of cloudy water with sand in it, and it begins to settle. In the settling, we get in touch with what are we really feeling? What are our real needs? You see, this is the crucial thing. We need to settle to get connected to our needs. What is the real need in ourselves of the situation? Not what we think it is, because what we think our need is at the beginning usually involves a reaction and a strategy to get something. Here's an example. Suppose we have a bad night's sleep, we wake up feeling scratchy and irritable, and we realize that our thinking about it is not very helpful, so we're going to shift our thinking to feel better. So what you might do is, let me think positively about sleep. So that's great, kind of courageous work. But the question is that not a strategy, thinking that what we really need is sleep? How do we know that in this moment, that is the best medicine for us? See, we're trying to get something. When you're trying to get an event in the world or change a behavior, that is inevitably a strategy to get something deeper. So our question is, what deeper needs and longings are symbolized by the desire for sleep? If we jump immediately to sleep, we won't get it. But if we sit with the discomfort, so here's what we might do. Sit with discomfort, feel it. Where do I feel a scratchiness, I feel tiredness, I feel judgment, I feel irritable, I feel angry, I feel like a failure, I feel out of touch with myself. You see, there's a whole host, there's a soup of stuff there. How on earth can you think positive? Which one are you going to single out? But if we allow all of them in and simply inquire into what am I really feeling? As I connect with this in a physical way, physically, how does my body feel to experience this so-called lack of sleep? And you take away the judgment and the story about that and just be with what is. Well, I'm tired. How do I know I'm tired? Well, there's a certain feeling. Where's the feeling? It's my chest, for instance. And you just non-judgmentally watch that, becoming curious about these phenomena as they arise. And you're tuning into what else you're aware of while you're watching these phenomena. You'll start to notice that the deeper need becomes more apparent. And you can start, well, you know what I really need here is to feel, what I really love. That's the question. What did I love? What I'd love? To feel energized. I'd love to feel peace. I'd love to feel connected with my nature. And often there can come the first bit of relief, because if you're trying to control sleep, that's largely beyond your control. It's to do with a whole host of reasons why you might not be sleeping. But what you are more in control of is what's here now. So when you connect with a deeper need, that need can always be met from within. So say you now need to feel peace in myself. How would the deeper peace feel? Feels kind of flowy. It feels... You see, if you tune into yourself while you're doing this, how do I feel as I investigate this flow? You start to notice that peace is actually showing up. You say, I'd like to feel comfort. I have a longing for comfort. At first you might experience the lack of that. I don't feel comfort. But if you encourage to sit with the longing for comfort for a while, something arises from your inner being that brings that comfort, or something similar. It brings what you really need, what is available to you now. And after a short while you might feel that all your needs are actually being met here. You did not need the sleep to achieve this. So now we've shifted into the positive, but we went through the negative to get there. And this is a far more profound positive, because it is coming from your deep inner nature. And this is the part that is always on, always broadcasting, always arrested. If you stay at the level of reaction and trying to think positive about sleep, you'll always be addicted to that sleep happening. Yes, you can make a small change in mood through your positive thinking, but you still remain addicted to a strategy. And you have not met the deeper need. The deeper need is always to connect and know that you have within you what you seek. But when you go through the path of the negative and sink into it, feeling as you go, the part of you that is feeling, that is doing the feeling, that is witnessing, the witness comes forth and begins to offer that and to meet your needs, your deeper needs. See, we are very clumsy with our language of needs. We say, well, I need sleep. Well, perhaps only at a biological level, but what do we really need? We really need to feel energized. We need to feel clear. We need to feel alive. We need to feel at peace within ourselves. Because we believe needs are bad and can't be met, we don't go there to what we really need. But if we have the courage to, and just be with it, we realize that maybe these needs can be met in this moment, if we just recognize them, and we spend time with them. And if we have the courage to go through the feeling that, oh my God, they'll never be met, something does rise to meet them. So, emotional guidance system, a very good principle. But it's maybe a little bit more complex than the law of attraction people like to put out. Experiment with shifting to the positive very quickly. You can try that. But maybe also try what happens if we stop being at war with the negative and we allow ourselves to experience it. And the rest that comes from that opens to needs, and the needs open to that inness which arises to meet those needs. Then we have what we seek. Okay. One little thing, people fear that if we think negatively, we'll create negatively. There's different kinds of negative thinking. Hey, the key is, am I identifying with my so-called negative? So this root that I'm talking about is not about identifying. It's experiencing negative, not identifying with negative. If I say I'm willing to experience this discomfort just for now, I'm not identified with it. I'm willing to experience it. I'm not going to create negatively from that space. Because the inner core of me, the being that is allowing this, is always positive. Okay. Ironically, if you jump too quick to the positive, you are identifying with the negative first and then trying to identify with the positive. So you're playing this identity game. So this method I'm talking about is really letting go of all the identities, all the judgments, and simply being present with what is. And being present with what is, and being very aware and witnessing, that qualities of the witness come forth. And then we have what we're seeking. Okay, so don't worry too much about being with the negative. Be with the negative. See what happens.